Hello, so for my next demonstration I'm going to show you how I make a necklace using some of my stitching techniques and beads. You can see here I've got two lots of silver wire. This one is 1/4 millimetre, 0.25 millimetre silver wire, and then I've got some 0.4 millimetre, so just less than half a millimetre in thickness, and that's what I'm going to use to make this necklace. So I'm going to start off using the wire, and I'm going to cut a length which is about the length of my arm, my forearm, and I'm going to try and talk while I do it, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. So these are glass beads, and these ones are a lovely green colour, tealy greeny with this luster finish. So I'm threading them onto the silver wire, and I have to don't make a mistake because, well, it's quite likely if I'm talking at the same time. So this is going to be like a central flower at the centre of the necklace, a beaded flower. So I've got it together like a little, you can see it's like petals, and then I'm going to put the middle in the flower. So for that one I'm using a slightly different coloured bead. So I've got the basis for the flower here. Now I'm going to embellish it with some more beading, just finishing off the little end of the silver wire. Snip it off, and then I'm going to add little tiny seed beads. These are size 15 seed beads, so they're just over 1 millimetre in width. And I'm going to just concentrate while I do this bit. And I've turned the lights off in the studio so that the video comes out a bit better, because sometimes it comes out really bright, but of course that's making it more difficult for me to see, so it's taking a bit longer than perhaps it would normally. And use another bead, I think. I'm just pulling that round so I've made like the centre of the flower, and then I'm going to take it round a little bit further, and then I'm going to stitch, because that's what I do. I stitch with wire. I did a green embroidery, so it's stitching with wire. I'm going to stitch around the outside. I'm going to hold it up a bit so you can maybe see it a bit better. So that's what I've made so far. Oh, there's an ambulance going past. My studio's on St Edward Street, which is for those of you who don't know, is right on a crossroads with traffic lights, and it does get quite busy and quite noisy. And yeah, you can hear ambulances, and often you can hear the sheep and the cows in the cattle truck on the way to market. Which the first time I heard that was kind of the weirdest thing I've ever sat there making jewellery, and suddenly I can hear sheep baaing. Oh, so I can bring it a bit closer and you can see. Right, so I'm going to work my way round the outside. In fact, if I hold it up a bit closer, maybe you can see better what I'm doing. Excuse the state of my nails. There really is no point, especially at this time of year, me trying to keep my nails looking nice. They are clean, but they're all a bit raggedy because I'm just working with wire, and it does tend to wreck your nails a little bit. So I'm kind of coming to the end of this bit of wire, I think, yeah. So I'm going to just finish that off. So I don't know if you can see this. I'm just pulling it really tight. And if you came on one of my wire jewellery workshops, I do teach you how to use this technique, which is a technique that I developed from, I did a degree in embroidery, as I said, so it's a technique I developed from those times. So stitching but with wire rather than with thread, and also you can sort of, it really sort of highlights the stitch and the intricacy of it rather than the stitch being embellished on top of some fabric. So yeah, so I've attached a new bit. Yeah, so I was just telling you about workshops. So the wire jewellery workshop, I use this technique, and also the haberdashery wire jewellery workshop, we use this technique. And yeah, I'll teach you how to do it and some other things too to make some nice beaded jewellery. So there's a little bit of advertising there. Right, so I think you probably get the idea of what I'm doing there. So I'm just going to pause the camera for a moment, and then come back, hopefully come back a bit when I've done a bit more, and I hope that will work. This is all a bit of an experiment. So hello again. So I've just done a little bit more, and I've started putting beads on the outside. I don't know if you can see that there. See if the camera will focus. And these earrings have the same motif in the centre, and they're darker because they've been oxidised. So later on I will oxidise them using this stuff. It's liver of sulphur XL gel. So that's what makes them darker, and I really like that because it just makes the colours more subtle. It really sits with the beads nicely. So yeah, that's the, oh sorry, it doesn't want to work. There we go. You can maybe see those earrings a bit better there. And this actually is going to be part of the centre of a necklace, which has some little tiny leaves in it as well. So I'm just going to show you how I would do that. So this is with the thicker wire, the 0.4mm wire. I'm going to twist and loop it to make some tiny leaves that could go on the necklace. Sorry, to remember to do it in the right position so you can see what I'm doing. So I don't know how much you can see of this, but I've got some wire and I'm creating little loops and then twisting them to make leaves. And this is a technique that I also use on a much bigger scale for the wire flowers that you will have seen on my page. Right, I'll just do a few more loops and then you can see what it looks like. It's really quite hard to show this because it's so tiny. And all the time I'm kind of smoothing out the wire so it doesn't get kinked up. I'm trying to follow the way that the wire wants to go. Right, and hopefully you can see, put that there with my hand, hopefully you can see it's starting to look a bit like a leaf. And then I would do some more, but I will just show you what I do, because I want on these leaves I want them to be slightly more pointy, so they look a little bit more like leaves. So I'm just going to twist the leaves a bit. I'll hold it up and you can see that there's a slightly different shape to the leaves on the right hand side, hopefully. Yeah, so then I'd make one of those and another one of those. This will sit in the centre of the necklace, and I'm going to try and add a photograph of that so you can see the necklace at the end. So yeah, there are some other parts in it, and it all sits together to make a necklace which matches the earrings, which you can see here. Anyway, I shall stop now. Hopefully that's given you a little insight into how I make some of my pieces. I hope I haven't mumbled too much, and thank you very much for watching.